Hello, Captains. This is Kent again, and welcome to the Flight Show. I know you're asking, where have you been? Oh my gosh, I didn't think I'd hear from you again. But in fact, yes, you were destined to, but I will get into why you have not a little bit later. I wanted to take this time to do a review. It's been a long time since I've done a review, much less anything else. But how many of you all are like into your Microsoft Flight Simulator or Prepared 3D version 5 and you just don't know, can't decide on where to fly to? So I had done a couple of videos on some things that could help you pick some places to fly, and I realized in my absence, much to my happiness, there has been a release of a new program. And it might be a little old now because I've been away so long, but let me share it with you. Friends of the channel will recall that I was a huge fan of this program known as Simbit World's A Pilot's Life. Gives you the opportunity to have a career as an airline pilot. It's not a lot of frills in terms of graphics, but it's really, really powerful in terms of mission generation and keeping track of you as a career as a pilot. There's some other programs out there, but I want to focus on this one. Now, let me just tell you the thing about this program that really just disheartened me. It's a small thing. You cannot port your old profile from A Pilot's Life over to the new A Pilot's Life 2. The way that they evidently keep track of it is completely different, and so you just can't port over your old profile, which really sucks because I really had a lot of hours built up in it. But you can continue to use it if you want, but me, I always seem to be drawn to the new hotness. So I'm starting over my modest career. Yeah, I know, guys, it wasn't your fault, but dag, Simbit World, that just crushed me. Never mind. So anyway, I was doing a couple of flights with an airline because now you have some more criteria in order to be able to like start a pilot's life. You just can't just jump in and fly anything. You've got to kind of work your way up, and I'll explain why. Let's take a look at some of the features here. First off, you have the dashboard. This is basically who you are. Right now, I'm a junior officer again, rating 86, and I'm flying with Air Baltic. This is the second airline I've flown with, and as you can see, it's a 3-star airline, and all I could do is get a 1-star airline at first, and it was an airline that was operating for Italy mostly. I forgot the name of it. I'll show it to you if I come across it. So you have your airline, in which I have. It's Air Baltic. It's a 3-star airline. I'm trying to get to something a little bit more popular. I think when I finally got out of my I think I started with this one airline in Alaska, and then I was able to move to Frontier. And I actually built up some hours in Frontier, and then I went to Lufthansa. No such luck just yet. So here are all the airlines that you can fly with. Now, you can't necessarily go to an airline. You gotta, your flight rating will determine whether you get some. So what you can do is you can apply for, an airline, and then in some, amount of time, they'll determine whether they want you or not. But as you're building up your career down here, you will get job offers from other airlines. And so, you just keep flying, and, it's pretty cool. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here's the airline that I have. I don't have a lot of flights because this particular airline, for the airplane that I have, I really only like flying with study level aircraft, and I did buy PMDG 737. I have the 800 version and the 700 version. And I couldn't find a livery for the 800, but I did find an Air Baltic airline livery for the 700. So, but there weren't any flights for the 700 because I don't think they operate the 700. Kind of weird, or at least not as far as pilot's life is concerned. So I've got these 4 flights, and I'll probably just have these 4 flights until I get enough hours to get another airplane. But you have to get a rating on another airplane, so I'll get to that in a second. But here's where you generate your schedule, and you can do them short, medium, or long hauls or you can have a combination of all of them, right? And you can skip if let's just say I didn't really dig this one, I could skip up to 5 flights once I've chosen, but after that you got to finish it out. So here's my logbook. That's it. I was Albastar. That's who I was flying with first. I did 3 flights before I got an offer to get to another airline. And let's see, how much can I get out of this information? So if I click at the end of your flight, it gives you a rating of things that you did. Like here, make sure that you didn't pass a bank over 20 degrees. Don't pass a bank over 30. I failed that. So you actually can get ratings. So not only do you have a pilot's life, they actually rate your performance, which is actually kind of cool. If you're really into kind of like performance-based motivations, this is a nice new addition. Never mind all these things that I failed at, like, strobe light, landing light. I haven't flown in a while, so I'm kind of getting my sea legs back, or air legs back, wings back, whatever you want to call it. So let's just ignore some of these things that I got poor scores on. But it gives you a profile of your flight, and it's a rating. So now you're not just getting flights chosen for you, so you need, when you can't decide where to fly, but now you really do have to put some thought into performing your flights well. Okay, and so actually, if you can see, if you really want to look at it from my first flight, which was probably abysmal, I actually improved because they're like beacon, see these fails. But by the time I got to my third flight, well, let's take a look at my second flight. I was doing a little bit better. See, now that I'm aware that they were tracking me, the first one, I just acted like I didn't care. But I did, well, I got fails in other places. But other places I improved. So, roll with that. And you do get XP for each flight. And now when you start a flight, when you start a career, they give you a choice. It doesn't matter how many flights, as few or as many as you want. But you could choose something more challenging where you have to fly a certain number of flights a week or a certain number of hours a week. And because I'm as busy as I am, I really was reluctant to try that. But I'm trying to do at least 5 flights a week. And I'm going to come up short this week. I just know it, because I'll get into that in a little bit. So this is the flight. So when you choose your flight, this is my next flight with Air Baltic. Come on back. Where are you? And by the way, you can use this with Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator, or Flight Simulator 2020. I forget which brand they chose to go with. But, you could, wait, is this me? Did I get one is that mine? Literally? Oh, wow. Am I going all the way to South America? No, because yeah, okay. This is like, I'm flying to the Czech Republic. That's what I thought. So what is this? I have no idea. But nevertheless, because I was looking here to here, that should not be me, or at least I don't think it's me. That might be somebody else. I'll have to get back to you on that. But nevertheless, here's the flight information that tracks your flight. If you start off and your plane's going to show you where you are amongst all of this. So this, again, just keeps things to look at while, you're doing your flight. Now, in terms of shopping, let's see here. By the way, if you're going to use this program with Flight Simulator 2020 or Microsoft Flight Simulator, you do need to download, let me see, I want to call it right. You're going to need to download FSUIPC 7. Because to utilize Electronic Flight Bag by Avlasoft, if I remember correctly, or to use this, you need FSUICP 7. Just keep that in mind if you're going to use it with Microsoft Flight Simulator. So here are the things. You can get ratings. You can pay for training, workload management, education, all of these things. So you can pay to have a rating with a certain airplane, but you got to earn the money to get that rating. So you can't just jump in and fly anything. They'll give you some money to start off, and I do have the rating for a 737, but I got to put more money so that I can get, I guess you're building up experience so that you can be rated to fly other aircrafts with other airlines. So you just like, not like in A Pilot's Life 1 where it didn't matter, you just pick your plane and you fly. To do it here, you're going to need to be rated in that aircraft to get credit for it. And you're going to have to get the money to get the license for the rating. So that's actually a pretty interesting thing. You gotta work. You gotta work for this. All right. So nevertheless, there's a community. People can, you know, friend you and so on and so forth and message each other just like in the previous. Let's see here. Coming up a little slow. Forgive me for yawn. Tired. Here we go. So now you have your community of total number of pilots, flights connected there right now, recorded hours, so on and so forth. I hate that I had to start over. I really, really hate. And these people had to start over too, but I ain't had time to fly. So I got a lot of time to make up on the weekends or something. Now for reports, you can look at your entire career. And so I can generate a report. And you could do this in Pilot's Life 1, but this is the new thing. And this is the first time I'm actually looking at mine. So let's see what they come up with. Okay, so my pay has gone up a little bit, you know, because I'm brand spanking new, right? I took a deficit. I don't know what I took a deficit for, but I'm still learning this. But you have lots of good stats to track your career. Oh, aircraft. Oh, that's my license that I purchased. Okay, I see. That wasn't a penalty, but it's debited out of my 5,000 that I started off with. Okay, so that makes sense. And that's the license that I purchased for the 737. So that makes total sense. Okay. That's a financial report. Totally cool. And you can also get flight reports over your entire career. Generate report. So that was financial. And this is, what is this? Flight record, flights per week. Okay, so this is looking at the number of flights that I took per week, flights per day, flights for airline, and what plane. And all you're going to see is the 737 because that's all I got. I'm going to be doing a 737-700 because they don't have an Air Baltic livery that I could find for the 800, so I'll be doing it with a 700 just so that I can have delivery, but they're going to look at it as an 800, so, you know, sue me. All right, and so for your settings, yeah, that's all the personal information, which you're not going to be able to see, but that's just your profile and all that good stuff. So this is not a long one, but I wanted you to see, and do I recommend it? Yes. If you cannot figure out where you want to fly and you need to have something to help choose it for you, I highly recommend you A Pilot's Life. Which of the two would I get? If you don't have either, go ahead and get A Pilot's Life 2. If you have A Pilot's Life 1, it's really depends on you. But I tell you, when you got to start over after you've had a very bountiful career, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend to purchase it to a new one, but I did because I like to have the newest thing. Oh, I got like 4 unread messages. Since we're here, why don't we check? Salary credited. I got, oh, okay, some salary credited. Now, that's because I haven't really been flying, so I only got $44. I got to get in here and start making some money. So before I go, so where have I been? Long story short, I was promoted at work. I am the dean of the graduate school, and I have been busy as hell since the last time you saw a video. And I need to have a little bit more work-life balance. This is what I do for fun. It is the way I unwind. But I've had a really hard time I felt the obligation to be putting in work to justify that I was promoted. So that's what the deal is. Very proud of it. Very happy, you know, to serve as the dean of the graduate school at my university. So that's where I've been. I am going to be trying to get a flight in at least once a week, but we'll see how it goes. But the good thing is we're approaching the holidays and I can get some time to fly and unwind. So I'm looking forward to posting some videos. So there's my review for A Pilot's Life 2 by Simbit World. Hey guys, I really like your product. I think you did a great job. Wish you could have brought my profile over. I know that you couldn't because it's a new thing, but I'm going to bitch about it anyway. All right. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to seeing you in the virtual skies.